Good morning. Welcome to Kilat Shari Torah's daily review of Maimonides' 613 mitzvahs, the Sefer HaMitzvot for Friday, October 29th, Erev Shabbat. Next, we've been speaking about various prohibitions concerned with temple, with sacrifices, with offerings, with tithes. Our next prohibition, our next negative mitzvah is we're forbidden to eat unredeemed second tithe of corn. Some say corn, the word is dagan. Some say corn, some say all grains. We're forbidden from eating the unredeemed second tithe of corn outside Yerushalayim, based on a verse in chapter 12 of Deuteronomy. You may not eat within thy gates the tithe of the corn, dagan, or the yayin, as we'll see in the next mitzvah. The tithes are as follows. Here's a schedule, an order of the tithes to give us a sense of how tithes were taken in Israel in the times of the temple. Here's how they explain it. First, the truma was set aside for the Kohen. This was normally about 1/50th, about 2% of the produce of whatever bunch of the harvest was there. First tithe from what was left. In other words, now you have 48% of your 98% rather of your 2/50ths. You have what do you have? 49/50ths. There you go. Of your remainder left. So the first tithe from that is given to the Levite, who, when he received it, gave a tenth of what he received to the Kohen, which rendered the remainder of the first tithe permitted food everywhere, even for those who are not in a state of tahara, as we've been discussing the last couple of days. Now there's a cycle. There's a 7-year cycle, the Shemitah cycle, which we're taking very close note of at the moment, because this year is a Shemitah year, a sabbatical year, the 7th year of the cycle in Israel and all around the whole world, but in Israel in particular. So in that cycle, in years 1, 2, 4, and 5, the layman, the regular person, the farmer who's bringing these tithes, then sets aside Meiser Sheni, the second tithe, and that is to be taken up to the city of Yerushalayim and eaten in a state of tahara. So a person has to take his, it's his to eat, but he has to eat it in Yerushalayim and has to be in a state of tahara. Or he can take up its redemption money, in other words, its value plus a fifth. That's what happens with the second tithe. So he can either take it to Yerushalayim and consume it there, or invite his friends for a party, or make sure everybody's in Yerushalayim and tahor, of course, or can redeem it, transfer the sanctity, the kedusha, to money, which is a little bit more portable. Bring that to Yerushalayim and use that to buy money, which is then to buy food rather, which is then eaten in Yerushalayim. Okay, so that's those years, first, second, fourth, and fifth years. In the third and sixth years of the 7-year cycle, second tithe is not set aside for the owners, for the Bailam. It was set aside as Meiser Ani, for the poor man's tithe. The poor could eat it anywhere, and it doesn't have to be in Yerushalayim, even in a state of Tumah. They didn't have to make sure that they were careful about ritual purity, about Tahara. Okay, so that's that one. Two others that go along with that. Next prohibition, we're forbidden to consume the unredeemed Meiser Sheni, second tithe of wine outside of Yerushalayim. Similar situation. And prohibition number 143, we're forbidden forbidden to consume the unredeemed second tithe of shemen, of oil, outside of Yerushalayim. Okay, that's a lot to remember. We'll leave it there for today. Just mention briefly about Shabbat tonight and tomorrow. Earliest time to light candles and welcome the Holy Sabbath, 5:07, 7 minutes past 5 this afternoon. Candle lighting is actually 5:54 p.m. That's the time at which candles should be lit. Listen to me. Should be lit. Mincha, Kabbalat Shabbat. Unfortunately, this week, again, we will not be meeting in Shul. Hope to resume our in-person Friday night minyanim speedily in our days. At the present moment, we'll be davening from our homes. We'll be together in separate places. That'll take place at 5:55 Mincha, followed by Kabbalat Shabbat and Ma'ariv. If you would like to join us for Shul tomorrow morning, there will be a minyan at 10 o'clock. Please make sure you pre-register. We are not permitting people in the shul at present who have not registered ahead of time. So please make sure for that, for contact tracing and our record keeping. Shabbat ends tomorrow afternoon, 6:55, 5 minutes to 7. So you can tune in to a lively and enjoyable Zoom Havdalah with your friends at 7:05. 5 minutes past 7 will be our Zoom Havdalah, as we usually do. Have a wonderful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, a good Shabbos, and we will see each other afterwards.